viewers, welcome to the Malvern Show. This time it's a bit of a change from our normal routine, and we have this wonderful colourful backdrop of sweet peas. So what are we doing today, Rich?
Well, a variety of things. I think we'll start off with the children's garden because that's looking superb. Discovery Zone is very distinct from last year.
Alright, so I mean, see these youngsters getting their hands down and dirty, so that'll be great.
And of course you're doing some spectacular stuff in the allotment stage.
So we're going to look at that because they have provided me with a lovely backdrop of tomatoes. So we'll have a look at the tomatoes there.
Well, and then in the meantime, we're in the floral marquee. We've got these fabulous sweet peas, which of course you grow an enormous amount of sweet peas.
It's a wife, these are sweet peas. They are the most fabulous thing on a plot. They do two things. They bring the they bring all the insects that destroy the pests, and they also keep the good lady at home happy when you're never there.
Yes, yeah. Indeed.
And so we'll have a little roam around this floral marquee as well and show some of the viewers what exactly is on at Malvern this year.
Shall we?
Let's go roam.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
That is shocking.
So anyway, we're here now, and there's a lot of people milling about, and the rain has ceased. So let's see what we got here.
Well, we've just walked into this. This is the Discovery Zone, so the school garden. Let's just take a wander over to this garden over here. Do you recognise those hurdles, Terry? Have you seen them?
I think I've seen them around your garage at home. Yeah. Are you involved in these big homes here then? Because I got one of those.
No, well, not really.
I got one of them towering above my greenhouse, and no bee has visited yet.
The kids were instrumental in building everything practically.
Right.
You know, my cameo was very small and insignificant by comparison to the enormous amount of work that's gone on here. I've just spotted something that's kind of quintessentially Welsh in the left-hand corner of this garden. Can you see those juicy leeks over there?
Oh yes.
In fact, they're better than the leeks you've got growing in your allotment.
Well, they're very, very early as well, aren't they?
The kids have all had a fabulous time as well, haven't they?
That's the main thing, is getting the kids involved. That's the age in which they start gardening, and then hopefully they grow some green fingers for life.
Come over here and have a look at these veggies and stuff that are growing here, because there's a wonderful setup actually, because you've got some great varieties all in this wonderful. This tiny little baby child's pram that's decidedly old. So I decided it was made to look. Do you remember, anything like that when from your childhood?
I don't think even a child had to fit it in there. Fits about 20 tomatoes quite promptly, but nothing else, does it?
It doesn't.
But I think this is to do with this new method of growing tomatoes. They now got this grafted stock.
Right.
There used to be fruit trees of a grafted stock.
Right.
But now greenhouse vegetables such as peppers, cucumbers, and tomatoes, they're now growing on grafted stock.
How does that work though in a short-term tomato? Because it's something that's a plant that grows quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, but what they do, they take a good strong rootstock of some hardy variety and graft the new modern varieties on, so they are much more resilient to most of the diseases and grow extremely quickly. They anticipate that a grafted tomato would crop 4 to 5 weeks earlier than a normal tomato.
Right.
And that's the new method of growing them, though.
Okay, yeah. so would you keep the rootstock from the one year and use it the previous year? Or?
It's gone then. It's gone.
Oh, okay.
It's like anything else. It's a new method of giving you extra productivity, taller trusses, and many other things. They'll give you a crop for much longer.
Right.
So hopefully they will permanently repay the dividend.
Okay, that's interesting. There's an enormous variety of tomatoes here. Have you ever grown anything like these?
No, but you see, we noticed as well. I mean, the family of tomatoes is part of the solanum, which are quite a tough old bird, and these are an actual grafted one, which you want to a solanum stock. And you've got this variegated leaf, which if it was in the greenhouse you think was dying, wouldn't you? You'd chop it down.
You would. It looked at first glance, I thought that was poorly, that plant.
Yeah, but I mean, it's actually growing quite well, and it will give you a bit of colour. You can come out to your garden and think, oh, that's quite pretty. People will look at it as a border, but then you can go out and eat it as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose, I guess if you think about it, lots of plants, lots of our beans, for instance, originated from the Victorians' ornamental growing. Their inclinations to have nice little climbers and flowers associated with
they grew them for flowers originally. They didn't grow them for the beans.
No,
they were the sort of start of a 10 for the sweet pea, if you like, weren't they? I notice now you're into more of the grafted varieties. This is the way the tomato world is turning, is it?
Well, I think it's a fashion, to be honest. I see a lot of grafted tomatoes which didn't need to be grafted in the first place.
Right, because their stock was quite good to start with.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If they've got good disease resistance, and if they fruit well enough, then I don't see the point. No. But you've got something that doesn't fruit particularly well or has poor disease resistance, then it's worth grafting. Right. But otherwise, it's unnecessary, to be honest. Right. I see a lot of varieties for sale which have been grafted, cost a fortune, but it's an unnecessary practice.
It's unnecessary. But don't they give you a head start, a crop maybe several weeks earlier than your normal
Absolutely.
crop? Yeah,
absolutely. So you do get spot on.
So for the extra bit of money there, you will get hopefully a greater crop and an extra truss or two in a normal
Maybe.
greenhouse.
Well, weather permitting.
Weather permitting, well,
Yeah.
you could say this year.
No, absolutely.
I mean, have you joined the vast array of people this year who are going to grow drought-resistant tomatoes?
I wish we could. Yes, we've got some that don't crack under pressure.
Right.
But most will if they're not watered.
Is it pretty resistant to blight?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've never.
Because that's the other problem with outdoor tomatoes in this country. And most varieties quickly fall foul of the blight.
They do. Once you get the damp conditions, it all starts hitting the wind, doesn't it?
Have you got any here? Have you got any of those plants here?
You watch him, he comes down my allotment and everything, he goes back with bags of goodies. He's #1 scrounger in the world. Very deep pockets. Now Richard brings me back to the Welshness of the valleys.
Yes,
in front of this daffodil stand there. What a fabulous display of these Welsh national emblems.
Indeed. There's a wonderful thing. I mean, these are looking mint compared to those poor bedraggled creatures that are on their last legs outside at the moment. Have you got a favourite? I mean, have you got a favourite growing at home?
I have. I mean, I'm traditionalist, and I like the good old King Alfred, which has got the big trumpet and is traditionally yellow. So to me, a daffodil is yellow, and that's what traditionally I always grow.
Wonderful. I mean, and in fact, I'm the polar opposite of that. I just like the little tiny wild
Tate ones,
just the little tiny wild ones, and which you see drifts of in the fields, in the undulating terrain of Herefordshire.
The undulating terrain of getting a bit of Wordsworth about this. But again, it always amazes me how you get such a vast array of daffodils in flower in the second week in May, and looking at such perfection. You see, these are the skills of these people with horticulture.
Well, they must have held these back rather than sort of trying to accelerate their growth.
The skill of the horticulturalists, eh?
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. There's an enormous amount of work gone into this, isn't there? I mean, you could easily walk past, think, oh yeah, that's pretty. You never fully appreciate the amount of work that's gone into creating all these displays.
It's quite unnatural to have this one of daffodils flowering now. It's godly get them flowered in the spring properly, look like that, let alone scales unnaturally on a stand in the 9th, 10th of May. What a wonderful display.
It is gorgeous, isn't it?
Well, Rich, here we are. I mean, we looked around the marquee, we can find no vegetable growers, so we had to satisfy.
It's drought, isn't it? Drought and veggie growing.
So we've had to satisfy our things with things I do grow. We've seen that wonderful display of sweet peas, and now we've come across this wonderful.
These chrysanthemums are fabulous, aren't they?
And I tell you what, the look in that prime condition, in these wet conditions, is another skill, because they do fall very easily to the mildew. I mean, we know ourselves up in the allotment. You get several wet days like we've had recently. These would not look, and this guy again. So I've got a craft again.
I mean, you look at this. There's hardly a petal out of place. There's not a blemish, not a little insect, not a little moth bite, nothing at all.
They look pristine. The only thing I ever lose with flowers is why people want to grow a green flower. So you've got the foliage green.
It's a bit of a fashion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Green flowers.
Green. You want all the green leaves, which is absolutely essential to feeding it. But then you like a spurt of colour on top of the green leaves, and then you've now got another lot of green. But still, if somebody wants it, so if they want it, people will grow it, wouldn't they?
Definitely. Which is your favourite out of these, though? I mean, because they're all so distinct, aren't they?
Well, I'm
very different.
I'm a great spray man, because I only grow the sprays, so the spray reds there, they're contrasting white, brilliant again. Because they're on the allotments, they can't be appreciated by anybody on the Albi, so I like to cut the cut flowers so Auntie can have the display at home and have the beautiful sight.
Definitely. But there are, I mean, these almost look like ladies' fingernails, don't they?
They do, don't they?
And then these guys here, these delays are probably far more traditional, aren't they? Those are the kind of
chrysanthemums you'd expect in the summertime.
Yeah, you'll be glad to get back to the allotment and see your chrysanthemums.
I will after these hectic 4 days, so.
I mean, really, it's been a pleasure coming to the Malvern Show.
It is again. I mean, it's a great show, and it's a great show for people who want to buy plants.
Definitely.
That's what I go on Malvern. It's a gardener's show.
Yeah.
It doesn't win for the hard landscaping. It goes in for the garden.
It does.
Brilliant.
It does, absolutely. So I think it's almost time for us to scuttle off, isn't it?
It is now. It's been a real job now, and we've got to get back to the real business now of doing some shows.
Definitely. So we'll say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.